Okay, let's talk about one of the biggest, highest stakes decisions a business can possibly make, choosing and implementing a new enterprise resource planning system, an ERP. If you get it right, you can completely transform your operations. But if you get it wrong, well, it can become a crazy expensive multi-year disaster. In this explainer, we're going to dig into a really powerful resource that's designed to help you navigate that exact challenge.
It's the question that honestly keeps executives up at night. I mean, you pour millions of dollars into a system that's supposed to unify your entire business, but then you end up with massive budget overruns, totally frustrated users, and a system that just doesn't deliver on its promises. So what's the deal? Why does this happen so often?
Well, the thing is, the reasons are usually pretty predictable. The projects kick off without a clear, structured plan. The decisions get driven by a slick vendor sales pitch instead of what the business actually needs. Then there's poor oversight, all these hidden costs that nobody budgeted for, and a total mismatch between the software and how the company really operates. Every single one of these is a landmine just waiting to go off.
And that brings us to our first section, the ERP challenge. Because this goes way beyond just picking some software. It's about trying to navigate this super complex world where one wrong turn can have some pretty major consequences. You can think of it like being dropped into a dense jungle. It's filled with confusing trails and weird signs you don't understand. You're just trying to find the right path, but everywhere you turn, you're getting hit with this barrage of jargon and acronyms that all kind of sound the same but mean totally different things.
Which leads us right into Section 2, navigating the information maze. See, to make the right decision, you've got to speak the language. But as you're about to see, that language can be, well, intentionally confusing. First up, you've got the big one, ERP. This is supposed to be the central nervous system of the company. It's the grand promise of integrating everything, finance, HR, manufacturing, sales, all into one single source of truth. But then you hear someone mention MRP. Is that the same thing? Not quite. It's actually older, and it's laser-focused on manufacturing. It just answers 3 simple questions. What materials do we need, how many, and when do we need them? So it's a key piece of the puzzle, but it's just one piece.
Then, over in the sales department, they're all talking about CRM. This is all about your customer, managing leads, tracking interactions, running marketing campaigns, the front office stuff. And it could be part of your ERP, or it could be a completely separate system. See? More complexity. And finally, there's SCM, Supply Chain Management. Now this is looking outside your company walls, to your suppliers, your logistics, the entire flow of goods. And again, you have to ask, is it included in the ERP or is it not? So you see what I mean? The whole landscape is this giant maze of overlapping functions.
And the confusion doesn't just stop with acronyms. You're facing these massive decisions about the technology itself. Are you going to go with a cloud ERP, paying a monthly subscription and letting the vendor handle everything, or do you go on-premise, where you buy the license, you own all the hardware, and you have complete control? This one choice impacts your budget, your IT team, and how much you can customize for years. It's huge.
So how in the world do you navigate this maze without getting totally lost? How are you supposed to make good decisions when so much of the information out there is biased or just incomplete? Well, that brings us to Section 3, your guide, ERPedia.
ERPedia is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a comprehensive encyclopedia for everything enterprise resource planning. It's designed to be that one single definitive resource that unlocks all the complexities we've been talking about.
And its mission is so important. The goal here isn't just to throw information at you. It's to replace that dangerous guesswork that causes so many projects to fail with structured, reliable intelligence. It's really about moving from a place of uncertainty to a place of confidence.
So who's behind this? ERPedia is an independent knowledge initiative from an organization called Professionals Lobby. Now this is really important because it means the information is neutral and it's research-driven. It's designed to educate you and reduce risk, not to sell you a specific product.
But what does this structured intelligence actually look like when you're using it? In Section 4, Knowledge in Action, let's take a look at how ERPedia literally builds a clear path right through that maze.
Okay, remember that huge cloud versus on-premise decision? Instead of some biased sales pitch, ERPedia just gives you a super clear side-by-side comparison. It breaks down the choice by cost, by implementation time, by the IT staff you'll need, and by how much control you'll have. This is how complex topics become manageable, when they're just laid out clearly with the facts.
ERPedia also gives you historical context, which is so valuable. Understanding where ERP even came from, from simple inventory tracking in the 60s to the birth of MRP in the 70s, then the client-server boom of the 90s, and now these AI-driven cloud systems, it helps you understand why these systems are built the way they are, and more importantly, where the whole industry is going next.
And it provides you with frameworks for action. Look, an ERP project isn't just a single event. It's a whole life cycle that can last for a decade or more. ERPedia breaks it all down into 5 distinct phases, from that initial planning and selection all the way through to maintenance and eventually retirement. This kind of structured approach is the perfect antidote to that poor governance we talked about earlier.
So what does this all add up to? Simple. It gives you the ability to make informed decisions. And that is the single most effective way to reduce the immense risk that comes along with any ERP project.
At its core, ERPedia offers a transformation. It takes this confusing, high-risk, jargon-filled world of enterprise software and provides a clear, structured, and unbiased path forward. It turns that information maze we talked about into a well-lit highway.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that ERP projects are just inherently risky, and that risk gets so much worse because of a complex landscape filled with biased information. A resource like ERPedia gives you the independent, clear guidance you need to cut right through all that noise. And at the end of the day, making an informed decision isn't just a good idea, it's the only way to really ensure you succeed.
And that really just leaves us with one final question. Whether you're thinking about your first ERP, planning a big upgrade, or just trying to get more out of the system you already have, are you really equipped to make that next huge decision with genuine, data-driven confidence? Having a guide like ERPedia might just be the most important first step you can take.